What does it mean to leave a legacy when you are childless? Okay, that's what I want to talk about today. But before I get into that, let me first introduce myself. My name is Maria Lloyd. I am the owner of a marketing firm named Opens Clicks Cash, and I'm also the author of a book titled Words Are Wealth. Now, I'm on a personal mission to help as many small business owners as possible reach their first six figures in business. If that mission resonates with you, I want to invite you to come along with me on this journey by simply liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and hitting that notification bell so that whenever my team and I release new content, you will be among the first persons to be notified and see the content. Now, today I'm going to do something I don't usually do. First of all, as you can see, I'm not in my usual recording space, which is my office. I'm actually at the Atlanta airport. I have just gotten off of the airplane after a 15-hour plus airplane ride or flight from Johannesburg, South Africa. And that's what's inspiring this video is some of the conversations that I had when I was in South Africa as it relates to building a legacy. A lot of the cultures there are very heavy on encouraging people to have children with the intent of continuing their legacy, right? Or building a legacy that can be passed down from person to person. And so a lot of the folks were astounded when I said I was childless, and at this juncture of my life, while I had at one point in time considered having children, at this juncture I am not interested in having children. And that really shocked some people. And the recurring question I kept receiving was, oh my gosh, but what about your legacy? What is that? How are you going to leave a legacy behind if you don't have children? So this is something I want to address. And as usual, whenever I'm talking about a topic or a specific word or anything, the first thing I want to do is look at a definition, okay? So I'm going to read the definition of the word legacy as it is defined by dictionary.com. And so there are four different definitions for it. So it's a noun, and the first one says law, a gift of property, especially personal property such as money, by will, a bequest. Okay? The second definition, anything handed down from the past as from an ancestor or predecessor. Okay, that's the second definition. The third one, an applicant to or student at the alma mater of their parent or parents. And then four, obsolete, the office, function, or commission of a legate. Or legate, I don't know, I'm sorry guys, I've never seen that word before. I don't even know what it means. So now that we are clear on exactly how the word legacy is defined, let's talk about what that means for people like myself who don't have children, don't plan on having children. How can we have what kind of legacy can we leave behind? So first and foremost, I want you to know that having children for the sake of leaving a legacy is a very selfish thing to do, right? You're assuming a lot of things. Number one, you're assuming that you're going to pass away before your children. And if we haven't learned anything over the past at least 4 years, is that you can expect the unexpected when it comes to life. Life is very fragile. And so this assumption that somehow you're going to, pass away before your children and they're going to continue on with carrying your legacy is just, it's an assumption. Another thing is that, and I hear this particularly in the entrepreneurial space where people say, oh, well, I've started this business and I'm starting this business so that I can continue my legacy and my children and their children can run the business. Again, you're making a lot of assumptions. You don't know if you're going to have children that will grow up with special needs and they're incapable of running a business. You don't know if you will have the relationship with your children where they will be enthusiastic and willing and able to run the business. You don't know if your children will be responsible. You can do all the things and your children will still come out and they're going to do what they want to do. You don't know. And so you're operating from a place of assumptions. And it just really can set yourself up for a great deal of disappointment. Another one that I hear from people about, leaving a legacy through children is like, who's going to carry my last name? Okay, and so again, for me personally, I really don't mean to be offensive if this is coming off offensive, but it just seems very selfish to create life with the intent of simply keeping a last name. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the power of last names for branding purposes. There are a number of brands around the world that have been in existence for hundreds of years, and they are some family's last name. I get that. But I also want to let you know that the odds of the actual family members, the descendants of the individuals who started those businesses, like the odds of those folks still running those businesses are slim to none at this point, okay? So, you know, I just want to kind of shed another perspective on this whole idea of having children with the intent, the primary intent of leaving a legacy. Now, what does that mean for those of us who are childless and who, for whatever reason, do not want to have children or can't have children? How can we leave a legacy? So for me, I am an entrepreneur and my business is going to outlive me. My brand is going to outlive me. These videos will exist so long as YouTube and the internet exist, right? So I think we can safely assume that this is gonna last for infinity. So literally this content is timeless. It's gonna live on for generations to come, presumably. My book, I am a published author, and so there is a piece of me that exists and resides in thousands of households around the world. And that brings me a great deal of joy. That really brings me a great deal of peace. And again, like the whole legacy building. I mean, maybe this is the egotistical side of me when it comes to this, but you know, I think it's pretty cool that a piece of me, my mind, is in the homes of people around the world. I think that is really cool. And so my book actually, because it was written by me, it wasn't written by AI or anything like that, it was 100% written by me. That is another way I'm continuing my legacy, right? When someone picks up that book and they read that book, they are literally having a bird's eye view, or, you know, a snapshot into a very important part of my life, and that brings me a great deal of joy. Okay, so my book is another one. I have nieces, so I have 3 nieces, I have 1 nephew, and so in my mind, they also are continuing the legacy, and they're doing so by, you know, living their own lives and showing up as productive citizens in the world and being who they are, and trying their best, in which, in my opinion, you know, that's a great way to uphold the legacy of our family, is to show up as your best self and always try your hardest at whatever it is you decide to do. I'm not judging them for whatever career path that they are pursuing. I'm not pressuring them to do what I have done. My sister is not pressuring her kids to do what she has done or what she is doing. My brother is not pressuring his daughter to do it. So you see what I'm saying? There is no pressure. We are simply asking them to show up in the world in the best version of themselves, right? And I think that is another way to leave a legacy. Another thing, you know, I have written tons of articles. I have been on podcast interviews. And again, this, for me, this is a great way for me to leave a legacy. This is giving folks a snapshot into my life and my way of thought. And yeah, I mean, my point is, when you guys come across someone who is childless, does not want children, I want you to really broaden your perspective on what it means to leave a legacy, because I really encounter this question quite often, whether I'm speaking to someone in Africa or in North America. It doesn't matter. This comes up quite a lot. And so I think that it's important for us to just broaden our understanding, broaden our scope surrounding, you know, putting this, I don't want to say burden, but putting these expectations on these little humans who haven't even had an opportunity to develop their own identity. I just think it's very selfish, y'all. And so for me, legacy building is, as I mentioned, the content I'm putting out in the world, whether it's through my book whether it's through social media, whether it's through my speaking engagements. You know, there have been folks who have told me that the content that I share inspires them. There have been folks that have sent me emails letting me know that the information in my book has changed their business for the better. It has changed their lives. And so for me, I couldn't think of a better way to leave a legacy, right? And the beautiful thing about this is that I'm not putting pressure on a kid or having these, you know, expectations of a human being that I brought into the world without them agreeing to it. I just think that is so incredibly selfish. And so, yeah, I'm really, really proud of this legacy that I have built. And of course, there's so much more to come. But I just wanted to share that perspective. So with that being said, I would love to hear your take on this. Do pardon me for the noise. I'm sure I'm probably looking a little crazy getting off a 15-hour flight, nonstop flight. I'm exhausted and I have another flight to go. But nevertheless, please leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this. How do you plan to leave a legacy? And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading your response. And of course, as always, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when we post new content. And last but not least, always remember, content is currency and words are wealth. I'll check back in again with you soon. Peace.